Hello, 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 everyone. This is Martin, and welcome back to another weekly trading video. We're looking at the week for this coming October 9th to the 13th. This is me. My name is Martin once again. And first of all, I want to just mention happy Thanksgiving to all of my students, everyone here, all of my friends, my family. In Canada, here we celebrate Thanksgiving Day on Monday. I'm not too sure how it is in the rest of the world, but it's kind of a big deal. We get together generally with our family and loved ones, and we kind of appreciate the little things in life that give us love and joy. And it doesn't have to be a big thing or anything like that, but the idea is just to get together with our loved ones and celebrate another wonderful day. So, with that having been said, the theme for this week is Are the Stars Lining Up Finally for USD Momentum? And when I say momentum, last week the theme was I asked you to look for USD strength and whether that was going to continue. And yes, it did in a big way. So we're gonna talk about all that. When the USD gains strength, obviously the other currencies trading against it are become much weaker, and there were some really good trading opportunities. Lots of pips to be made last week. In fact, there were more than 339 pips and an additional 300 plus pips if you were to hold on to the winners. So it was quite a good week last week. So before we get to look at the actual currency pairs, we've got to talk about the disclaimer just briefly. Okay, really quickly, all the information presented in this video are for educational purposes only. Even though I do provide some levels that are that I have outlined on the charts, I'm not telling you to follow my advice at all. You still have to make your own decisions. It's your own real money that you're trading with, so be careful. Always trade with money management. And again, look at my video and the information I present for educational purposes. It's up to you to decide if that makes sense. So with that said, we're going to now go straight to the currencies. Okay, we're going to start off as we always do with the Euro USD daily and daily chart. These are all the candles for price action. What happened last week? There's a red vertical line you see right here, as is the close of the previous Friday. So we have 5 price action candles after that for each day: the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week. Okay, so what happened? Well, the previous week we saw price come down to test the support level here. Then price basically went sideways. Okay, actually, let me just redraw that for a second there. However, take a look. This is kind of a upside down flagpole. Now, what that means is that this is a common price action pattern. So price comes down in the big way, then goes sideways. Here's the pennant that's forming is the upside down flagpole. And take a look from here to here, the distance. Generally, price was to generally what this means, if price is to break here, it's going to come back down by almost the same distance as the previous breakdown right over here. So there's good room to the downside, and if we believe price is going to go lower, we want to take a sell below 116.44. Okay, and if price goes bounces off the support here and goes a little bit higher before coming back down, we may take a short-term counter trend trade above 117.64. So again, caution, but the safe bet is to wait for price to break down if it's going to do that. Again, take a look. This blue dash line, that's the 89 EMA, which I plotted on the chart. So that also acts as a minor support in this case. So price could come down lower, bounce higher, then come back down, and then go back down. Okay, so that's what I see for the Euro USD. Take a look here below. The long-term trending indicator, the momentum bars are below zero. They're all red. Okay, sideways. This just shows you the MACD here. It just shows you that price is currently in the short term going sideways. Now we move and jump right to the British pound. Let me take that off the charts there. Okay, so you can see what happened last week. My goodness, we had a pretty big sell-off on the British pound, didn't we? Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 huge price bars down to the downside. Price closed. Note that price closed below the 50 SMA right there, and is now sitting again at support. So remember the theme for this week, the stars may be lining up for the US dollar. And what does that mean for the currency pairs? Well, that just means that if the US dollar is gaining strength, the rest of the currencies trading against the US dollar are weak or are weakening. So in this case, the US dollar has gained quite a bit of strength from the mid September. Here you can see the swing high right there, and prices come down in a big way. Okay, and now price could either bounce up a bit, but take a look. I've drawn in a red magenta line. This is a long-term trend line. It goes back beyond the left edge of this chart, but price has broken below the trend line. It also sits at a confluence of support being the gray rectangle, which I've drawn in, okay? And also we have the 89 moving average, but the main thing is prices below the 50. My bias is to the downside again on this one. So if we're looking for selling opportunities, we want to sell below 130.18 right there, and if we believe price is going to go higher, we want to take a buy above 131.53. Again, take a look. The momentum bars are still just slightly above zero on the long-term trend, but the long-term has been weakening tremendously. The short-term, the strength to the downside, the momentum is increasing to the downside. Okay, so now let's take that off, and now we jump to the Australian USD. The Australian currency has been one of the weakest as well. It's been a weak currency, and trading in US dollar, well, you can see what happened. It just went down as well. Again, sitting at support. I believe price is going to come down lower. Gold hasn't been doing well as well. And the Australian dollar is tied into the commodity gold. So they usually move in tandem. So again, I believe price is going to come down lower. Now, there was a huge bearish candle you see on the Thursday. It indicated further downward movement, and on Friday we had a bit of a big move down, but buyers pushed it up. Sellers are still in control, okay? And I believe, like I said, price is going to come down lower. So there could be a bit of a pullback or sideways move, but if we believe price is going to come down lower, sell below 0.7724. Okay, and we have one red momentum bar on the long-term trending indicator. You can see that down below here. Okay, now we move to gold. Gain gold in tandem on Friday. I'm sorry, with the Australian dollar on Friday. After coming down quite a bit, we had a pullback, but again, price sits below the 8, so I'm looking at price to either go sideways or come down further to retest this support area. New Zealand USD, another weak currency, the New Zealand dollar. You can see it's come down, 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 down all of last week. Take a look to the right side of this red vertical line. Okay, so that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, big candle down, Friday, and again, I believe it's going to come down lower. So if we believe it's going to come down lower, we want to take a look at at sells below 0.17048 to the downside. If price is going to bounce off the support and go a little bit higher for possibly a short-term counter trend trade to the upside, you could look at buys above 0.7123. Again, take a look below. all red momentum bars on the short-term MACD as well as the longer-term trending um, uh, indicator right here. Um, okay, so that's that. Now we're moving right along to the US CAD, the opposite. For a couple of weeks, I've said that take a look at the price here. Okay, I'm going to start like right about there. But after a big, look at this, big, huge move down and down again. Okay, so we've had a huge move down. Uh, when price reverses and goes back up, okay, this is not yet truly an uptrend, but it is a pullback. It's called a pullback. In this case, it was a very deep pullback, and price. Now we could basically say we are trending higher, or we are now in an uptrend. Here, though, after price reversed, you can see right here, price was in a pullback, but now once price got above here, we can now say that price is actually in an uptrend. Take a look at the trending indicator, and that's why I have this on the charts, everyone. Okay, you can see up to here. Okay, to the left of this, um, the momentum bars are below zero, which means we are still in a downtrend, but this just means pullback. So when the green bars are moving higher or getting, well, another way to look at it is when the green bars are getting shorter, moving toward the zero level, we are in a pullback, okay? And then once the green momentum bars form above the zero level right here, that's the zero level with this dash line, we can now say we are in an uptrending market. So if we feel that price is going to go higher, we want to take a buy above take a look here, above 125.58, okay? And or we could just wait for a buy above 126.54, okay? So I believe price is going to continue going higher. Now, the US CAD, the Canadian dollar is tied into oil. Here's the next one. And you can see oil has come down in a big way, well, all of last week. And then on Friday, we had this huge black bearish candle. I believe it's going to come down a little bit more and then just sideways and play around the support area of the 50 SMA. So here you have to wait and see. Will price break support and come down lower, or look for the evidence price is going to go back higher? But right now it's a wait and see situation. Okay, now we move to the US Swiss franc, and this is interesting. Price finally broke above this major resistance area. Take a look to your left. Okay, here's current price all last week. Take a look, see right here, here again, here again, here again. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5, 6, 7 times. Price tried to break above the resistance area. It failed on last Thursday with this white candle. It kind of broke above just a wee bit. Then on Friday, the buyers brought it all the way up to the 200 moving average at 200 SMA, and sellers brought it right back down again. However, it does sit just at or above the former resistance. This is right here, it's called resistance, and when price breaks above and comes back down, now it's considered support. Okay, so I believe price is going to go higher, and you want to do is wait till price breaks above 0.9836 for a trade to the upside. If you believe price is going to go lower, then you can look at sells below 0.9736. Okay, so that is the US Swiss franc. We're going to move now to the last major pair. Okay, this is the US Japanese yen, and you can take a look. Last week, let me just take that off, and the previous week, price actually bounced off the support. See, price came up, You can see that price came down. See this white candle right there, this next white candle. Right after that, I would have entered a trade. You would have made from here to here, pretty good pips, okay? And now, as of this week, price has now just kind of gone sideways. So again, we are here at resistance, okay? And you want to wait for price to go above 113.55 to the upside, okay? So that's what I would do because right now price has not officially gone above the 113.40, 113.50 level. That seems to be a sticking point and is tried many times over the this past week, last week. Okay, so you could wait for price to go above 113.55 for a buy trade, or if you think price is going to reverse back down, then you could take a sell below 112.40 to the downside. Okay, so that is the US Japanese yen, the last major currency pair, and now we move into some cross pairs. Remember, I discussed the fact that we were going to showcase some further pairs. I've never done that before, and last week I started with some cross pairs. So the very first cross pair I want to look at is the Euro, British pound, daily. Again, this is the daily chart. They're all daily charts, okay? And you can see last week we had a pretty good up move, okay? So we could kind of say we're trending higher, but we're officially not in an uptrend. Take a look at the long-term trending indicator below, okay? So let me just mark that in. Do you see that? The green momentum bars are still below zero. They're getting smaller and smaller, smaller. This just means a pullback. So big down move. Okay, now we have a period of consolidation here and finally a breakout and a move higher. Okay, you can see that right there. So this is a pullback. And it may pull back still to, this area right here. So if we believe price is going to go higher, we want to look at buys above 0.9034. Price may come back down and resume its downtrend. It may not, but if it does, you could possibly look at sells below 0.8886 to the downside. Okay, let me take that off. We're now going to move to the next next pair, the Euro Japanese yen. Okay, this one you can see here's a bit of a pattern forming. Let me take a look. So we have a pretty good up move right there. You can see a bounce off the support. Do you see how the 50 SMA, here's the 50 SMA, acts as a major area of support where price often in an uptrend, price comes back down, tests it, and then bounces right back up. It did so here. It did so here. Okay, and so always look at the moving averages as areas of support and resistance. Now here, price is now in a pullback, so this is called a pullback. Okay, price off the swing high here, pulling back, but again, we're forming a bit of a pennant. I don't think this is really an upside down flag or anything like that. I think it's just a pullback in the sideways market here. But if we think price is going to go higher from here, break out of this pennant, we want to look at buys above 133.23, and then we want to look at sells below 130.174. Short term, again, back down to the 50. And the only reason I mentioned that is because price really has had a hard time closing above the 8 EMA. You see that? This little red line, this green red line, that's the 8 EMA. So price has had a hard time getting above there. It's actually closed last Thursday and Friday below the 8 EMA. So there's a good possibility that price may actually come down lower first before maybe moving higher again. Again, take a look at the indicators below. The trending, the uptrend is weakening. That the red momentum bars are getting shorter and shorter, moving toward the zero level. So that means this is the pullback for the uptrend. Here's the uptrend move. You see from here to here, uptrend, price is trending higher. Then here is price trending lower, this is really a pullback, and that's what you see over here. Okay, and then the next cross pair is the Euro Audi. Well, again, this is another area, and I actually did forget to put in some of the resistance and support areas, but let's do that right now. I'm going to do that. Okay, so there we go. So price is sitting here with Thursday, Friday's move. We had a good move up higher, but it's sitting at resistance. Again, it's having a hard time getting above this area. Take a look. It pulled back here, okay, pulled back there, but here it failed to go above the area, the resistance zone. It failed here. This price went up quite a bit, and then this was a false breakout and came back down. Again, kind of failed here. Again here, take a look to the left. It broke above, but again, false breakout. This is called a false breakout. Up, then a swift move to the downside, letting you know that sellers were really in control all along. There were sellers waiting at this level to put it right back down. So again, this is the area that we have to watch out. And if we believe price is going to go higher, and in this case, the Australian dollar is weak. The euro is a little bit stronger. My bias is to the upside. So if we're looking for buys, we could be looking at buys above 151.32. Okay. Although it could just go sideways, come back down again, and again, this is the area. The main thing is we have to watch this area. Price breaks above here. Okay. So the next pair, and I believe this is the final cross pair, the Great British Pound, Japanese Yen. This pair always moves up. It makes a lot of pips, and the daily range is always pretty good. So intraday, there's always good pips to be made, but you got to be careful because this currency pair moves a lot more than the other currency pairs. Now, what has happened here? Okay, again with the theme of this week's video, where the stars are lining up for the US dollar and the British pound is weak. You can see here the weakness in the British pound. And here, I just want to get my marker. So we had a huge run up. Okay, now another huge run down. Okay, here again we're trending lower, but we're still in an uptrend. The reason I say is take a look down below. Okay, so see the momentum bars, we're still above zero. Okay, right there. From this point on here, the momentum bars were still above zero, and it just means that we're in a pullback. So this is a really deep pullback phase all the way back to this support level. Okay, so from here, we could either watch price go higher. Okay, there's only two things that can happen. Price can either go higher or price can go lower, right? I'm kind of favoring the downside. My bias is to the downside, so I would be looking at sells below 146.78 to the downside. You can see the short term right here, the short term MACD, the momentum is increasing to the downside. So the downside, and also take the blue line, the MACD line, it's actually crossed below zero. So that's a further indication that price may certainly come back down lower to at least this 50 moving average right here. So there's good room to the downside. Again, downside below 146.78, and if we believe price is going to go bounce from the support and go higher, then we could look at buys above 148.10. Okay, so that's what I see with these currency pairs and the cross pairs, and this concludes pretty well the video. So if you want any extra information on what I'm doing or some of the courses that are available, you can contact me. Martin is my name at mskyj007@gmail.com. Again, once again, have a very happy Thanksgiving to all my trader friends, and we will talk to you again soon with the next video for next week. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.